What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Of course, I'm Madam Adam, and this is another honest tarot deck review. We're going to be reviewing a deck today that I haven't used or looked at a whole lot. Honestly, I've opened it up. I think I perused it a little bit, but this deck was sent to me by the creator themselves, and we're going to give it a gander. Today, we are looking at KLD Tarot. It Was All a Dream. A deck that was made by LaDez. I believe I'm saying that properly, but LaDez, this is their first edition of their deck. The box has some pretty interesting artwork on it, I would say. It's pretty interesting. You can see some of it on the back there. It's their first edition. This is deck 39 of 500. This deck was inspired by true events. That's really interesting. On the inside here, it says, approach life with vigor, for one day, death will approach you with the same. I like that. I like that a lot. That's a good way of putting it, the way you should kind of revere tarot. So, of course, it comes with a gorgeous, gorgeous book that Kate had the privilege of signing for me. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and look in the book here and talk a little bit about the creation of the deck, the concept and the making of it. The making of KLD Tarot. The idea and inspiration for this deck came in 2020 after what I thought at the time was a terrible streak of losing. In the 2 years preceding the pandemic, there was a domino effect of sweeping change that cascaded through my life like an irate hurricane, leveling almost everything in its path. My son left for college, triggering a severe case of empty nest syndrome. I lost not one, but 2 jobs. Someone tried to break into my home. I was the victim of a hit and run. I moved a number of times. I lost a friend of over 30 years to cancer. What I didn't realize at the time was that this was all meant to happen. I was meant to enter an initiatory phase of my life. All of this to say that it's truly not what happens to you in life, but how you view it, which has everything to do with what you place value on. My son leaving home was necessary in order to find himself, and he is now firmly on his path, moving swiftly in the direction of his dreams. The jobs that I lost were not mine to keep. They were not my soul's calling. The attempted robbery highlighting the fact that I really needed security cameras. The hit and run did not cost me my life. And the moves, well, I'll just chalk the moves up to being par for the course with a gypsy spirit. These experiences turned out to be blessings. They broke me down to my core essence, and I had no choice but to rebuild into a new, better, and stronger version of myself. Thankfully, I was able to do so and heal in the process. There was a lot of self-evaluation at this time, and I owe so much to Spirit for bringing me safely through those storms. As for Camille's passing, it's very hard to find the silver lining there. I can say that I'm blessed to have another angel. I can say that I'm grateful for her protection and guidance, and those things would be true. I can say, quote, well, at least she isn't suffering anymore, end quote, although death seems like a shitty consolation prize for that. Cancer took her health and eventually her life, but did not break or destroy her spirit. 222, rest in peace. I'd known from past experience that tarot could be therapeutic and insightful. The first time I'd had my cards read, I was 16, and through the ensuing years, tarot seemed to be the thing I'd gravitate to when I was troubled or in need of guidance. Recent times proved to be no different. During these difficult years, tarot was once again there to comfort. Initially, it was reading for myself that helped, but eventually it blossomed into reading for others that significantly contributed to my own healing. What they say is true. We do rise by lifting others. And so it was during quarantine that I put the word out. Have tarot, we'll read. My love for tarot intensified, and I began to explore more deeply. What I discovered was that certain decks called to me to read for certain people. I was especially fascinated and enamored of the indie market. Tarot created and distributed by independent artists seemed like the perfect combination of spirituality, style, and art. There was an honesty to these decks. They seemed to speak of their creator's own essence and viewpoints. Reading with different decks heightened my awareness and connection to spirit. I could sit with these decks and get lost in the conversation for hours. And so, one day, just like that, it was decided I'd create a deck. Why not, I thought. My wounded inner child was very quick to tell me why not. I had no background in graphic design, no background in publishing, not to mention no point of reference or idea of how any of this type of endeavor worked, let alone an actual concept. Never mind sourcing material, dealing with the manufacturers, editing, and the lingo of the print and design world. What would the cost be, and how could I swing it? Could I swing it? My mind swirled with questions, but like most things in life, it was figure-outable. I wanted to create something different. Of that, I was sure. I wanted to infuse it with my personality and taste. This desire was not ego-driven, more so the desire to create something heartfelt and authentic. I felt there were enough tarot decks that looked exactly alike, and there was no need for another. And so, KLD Tarot was born. I am honored, humbled, and very excited to offer this tool to the spiritual community. May you find abundance, joy, and happiness, and healing within and through the use of it. With deepest affection, Kate. It's very interesting. I love the way that tarot binds all of us together through, like, we all come to tarot from a same place. We all come to tarot from a place of often pain or hurt or darkness and a need for guidance. So it's really impressive that she decided to make a deck to reflect that and the uniqueness of it itself. I'm sure we'll see in the deck here the uniqueness of it. But she said that this was made not ego-driven, more so the desire to create something heartfelt and authentic. So I really like that. And then she goes on to say in the next bit here, the concept of the deck. Dreams are funny things. We so often question why we have dreamt something, the significance behind the things that visit upon us while we are supposed to be taking a reprieve from the world. They can be seemingly random, but often upon further inspection, we start to make sense of things. Dreams beg for explanation. They challenge our notions of self. They confront us with things buried deep within our subconscious minds. This can be at times both disturbing and exhilarating. They serve as a vessel, a time machine of sorts. They carry us to meet with loved ones in spirit, old lovers, sometimes even strangers that feel familiar. With this much magic taking place in dreams, how could we not become enlightened, bewildered, inspired, perturbed, overjoyed, and saddened by them? Dreams have the power to take us out of our comfort zone into realities we cannot fathom. It's a marvel how the brain takes experience and imagery and weaves these two elements together in such a chaotic yet seemingly acceptable way. We can do things in dreams that we could never do in waking life. Perhaps that's why they inspire us so much. Perhaps that's why they frighten us so much. We can often be prompted to wonder where a certain thought or scenario was created, sometimes so far-fetched we cannot imagine ourselves planted them there, that we ourselves planted them there. Sorry. Dreams are otherworldly events with transformative power. What better backdrop than something with endless possibilities and no rules? It was all a dream is a compilation of my dreamscape, my past and present realities, conversations with spirit and imagery that makes my heart swoon. Simple yet impactful, the backdrop of each card is the same, clouds of blue and pink meant to represent the dualities of our nature, the divine feminine and divine masculine energies within us all. Yet that's where any sense of uniformity stops. The collage art does not boast countless components, better described as thoughtfully curated images meant to dance with one another in the ether. You, the querent, are encouraged to make sense of it all in a way that speaks to you, in a way that allows spirit to speak through you. This deck is first and foremost a visual project, an experiment of sorts. I wanted to create something with different perspective while paying homage to the Rider-Waite system of tarot. The meanings of the cards, with the exclusion of 2 additional arcana created by yours truly, are based on traditional meanings. With that said, I feel like I should let you know in all honesty, this is not your mama's tarot deck. Well, I guess it could be, if Mom Dukes is like super cool. I was guided to make this deck exactly how it has been produced. In the beginning, I had moments of, will people understand this? In order to produce a finished product that stands strongly in this authenticity, originality, rawness, and connection to its creator, I deferred with my own spirit and the spirit team which guides me. That's very interesting. I love the way that she put that she uses the backdrop of blue and pink. It's based on dreams. Obviously, It Was All a Dream is the name of the sub-name of the deck. My only thing I have with this so far on reading is that there's so much verbiage about it not being a representation of self. However, the deck is named after the creator. It's called KLD Tarot. So the creator named this deck after themselves. And I'm seeing some pictures here where they themselves are on the cards. And for me, that makes it a little difficult to resonate because I don't know you. You know, we as querents, we as readers, or people seeking tarot, we don't know you in that way. So it seems like this is a very personal project. And this was something that needed to be done for the sake of our own healing and all of that. So I'm not sure how much I'm going to resonate with the cards themselves. And collage art doesn't really speak to me personally, so we'll see how it looks though, and we'll go through the cards together. But yeah, so as I said, she said she wanted to create something different that they were sure of, to infuse it with her personality and taste. The desire was not ego-driven, more so the desire to create. But if it's only based on your tastes, your dreams, your experiences, I feel as though as a reader, it takes so many of us out of it because it's specifically for the artist or the creator, not for us. You know what I mean? So let's look at it. Let's see what we've got here. So, and of course, there's a full book of definitions for the cards. They said they added a couple of extra arcana. That's something that many deck creators do, and I enjoy a lot of times when they do that. So let's see. So already the back is really lovely. I like the back of the cards themselves. We've got the KLD there on the back, and you can see it's also the same presenting upright as inverted. So I like that. It kind of, as I always say, it lends to reading inversions, which is lovely. And look at this gorgeous shine on the cards. We love a foil on the cards. Those are really nice. I like that a lot. So let's go through and look at these major arcana. And we'll review it, and we'll talk about it, and we'll see what I think. Remember, this is my honest review. This is my honest thoughts on a deck. Some of them I resonate with, some of them I don't. So we'll see what happens here. So, the Fool. Yeah, I don't know who that is. I don't know who this person is supposed to be. I don't know who that is. This, again, collage art doesn't really speak to me personally. It's just not something that I vibe with. And for myself, to me, sometimes, and I'm not saying this here, but sometimes collage art gives like 8th grade art project energy to me. So this Fool, I don't understand. I don't understand who this person is. If this is someone close to the artist or close to the creator, I don't know who that is. But they said that, I believe in the definition, it's supposed to give this rebel without a cause, James Dean kind of vibe. And I don't get that there. I don't see that there, honestly. The Magician, that's really beautiful. I like that a lot. That's really pretty. I like the imagery and the way that that's conveyed. Let's see. The Priestess is Kali. Okay, that's fine. It seems like a mixture of some things. I'm not sure why we picked that, but that's fine. The Empress. Yeah, I'm gathering that that's the artist themselves, or that's the creator themselves. And to me, personally, I don't want to dog anybody's deck, but I really, this was written that it's not based out of ego, but then why did we put ourself on the card? You know what I mean? Why did we put ourselves here? I don't think that's something. The Empress should be a symbol of the divine feminine in a certain way, and I don't think we should be putting ourselves on cards. That's just my opinion. The Emperor, this one's really pretty. I like that one a lot. That's beautiful. I like the imagery there. This kind of, the Aries symbol is represented. The Hierophant, again, I'm not sure who this person is or how that symbolically is the Hierophant, other than the Christian symbology that we have here on the top. The Lovers, I like that a lot, that it's not romantic, that it's a symbol of temptation and Adam and Eve kind of energy. I like that. See, here we go. So the Chariot, yes. Okay, I'm seeing a pattern here. So yeah, once again, the artist is represented. Strength, the artist is there as well. The Hermit, the Shroud, the Cloak, absolutely, I can see that one. The Wheel, absolutely. I'm not sure why we picked those animals. Maybe those are pets that she's had before. Justice or Karma, I like that. That says Karma. I like that a lot. The Hanged Man. That one I don't get. I don't really understand this one. The Hanged Man, why this went in this direction. It's interesting, for sure. There's no upside down to it. There's nothing that says perspective to me on that. Death, that's beautiful. Death is interesting. That's really fun. I like the transition of the butterflies. That's lovely. Temperance. See, and again, this is kind of where it gets like collage art is like giving 8th grade project to me. I don't understand this one personally. The Devil. Oh, that's interesting. I like that. The Devil has Baphomet there. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. But the Devil has this here. This two people bound together here. Temptations and all of that presented. The Tower. Pretty self-explanatory, I would say. We've got some people falling out of the tower there. Pretty self-explanatory. the star, the symbol of hope. To me, this card seems to be like we're resisting, like we're not reaching, we're not allowing ourselves to reach the star. It doesn't feel as hopeful to me as the star typically depicts. But again, all of these are the artist's discretion and what they decided to do. The moon there as well, a building with two dogs and the moon. It's very similar to the Rider-Waite-Smith imagery. The sun, I just don't understand. I'm not sure I get why we went with this imagery, perhaps, but I do like the sunflower energy. The dial itself, the golden disco ball, is really fun. Judgment. See, this is where, to me, the deck feels personal, that this is a personal deck. This is a personal project. And I know so many creators of decks that make their own cards. They make their own cards. They create their art and their cards for the sake of themselves in mind, but they don't put them out. And I understand maybe we put this out and hoping that someone would resonate with it, or maybe other people could use it. Here's the world. I like that one. That one's pretty good. I like that one a lot. Then the two extra they have are what can be and Finn. So I guess just an end. These are the two extra cards. So already, I'm going to be honest, I don't really resonate with this deck. This is not a deck that I would use. It feels very, it's funny because it said it wasn't made out of ego, yet we put ourselves on the cards quite a bit. Or we put people on the cards that we're familiar with and other people aren't familiar with. So again, I know some deck creators or other readers that have made their own cards, but they use them specifically in their own readings, and they didn't publish them. It's not for other people to buy or purchase or anything like that. So there's just something about this to me that feels, I don't know, mildly, I don't want to sound offensive, but there's something about this to me that feels mildly self-serving and a bit egotistical, even though it's not what was intended. I'm looking at these cards and I don't know those people. I don't know who they are. And I don't know. I think that maybe this was a deck that maybe the creators should have kept for themselves and used in their own readings to aid their journey. They said, inside the box here, it says that this deck was inspired by true events, but the tarot is a universal language. So I just find it difficult to resonate with something that is so unique. It feels like I'm looking through an inside joke. You know, it feels like I'm looking through something that pertains only to the creator. And as a third-party viewer or potential querent of this deck, I find it hard to resonate with. So let's see fire here, or wands. I'm just going to flip through some of these for you guys really quickly so you can see some of the imagery. The two. So here we go. Some of these going up. So you can see the collage art, and some collage art I understand, but personally for me it's hard to resonate with collage art as a whole, because it just feels very mishmashed and kind of eighth grade art project a little bit in some ways. But I like the backdrop, and I understand the aspect of dreams. Yeah, that one's interesting. 10 of Wands being a bunch of big little lies and I don't understand. Some of these I'm not sure I understand where we were coming from here with the imagery and why we decided to do these specific images. Some of them don't make sense. This one does to me, though. This one looks great. The Queen of Wands. I understand that. The sunflower, the black cat. You can definitely see a lot of the Rider-Waite-Smith imagery there. King of Wands as well. Ace of Cups. You can see some of the breakdown of Rider-Waite-Smith imagery represented in a lot of the cards. But the ones that have specific people on them, I'm like, I don't know who that is. I don't know who these people are. you know what I mean? I'm not sure. I vibe with them. So, and that's just my personal opinion. Maybe this speaks to you. Please feel free to put your opinion in the comments. I'd love to know what you guys think of these images and these cards and yeah, emotional decisions. And there's a modern looking person here. So maybe we're just trying to bring it to a modern day. We're trying to give it a different spin. We're trying to give it a different view and standpoint on tarot instead of this ancient ideal or ancient ideas of what tarot is. But I do think there needs to be some universal understanding. And honestly, it's just a big red flag to me. Again, this is an honest review, so don't come for me, but it is just a big red flag to me when creators put images of themselves in the cards. I think that's not what this is for. I think that that's very self-serving, and it shows a lot of ego. And even though that's not the intention that this was met with, it's hard to get past that. I mean, the deck was named after the creator. They named it after themselves. Even I wouldn't name the Madam Adam Tarot deck. I don't think I would do that. And I certainly wouldn't put myself on any of the cards. But that's just my opinion. And I'm so grateful to this creator sending me their deck and wanting to share it with me and know what I think. So I hope they're not upset at my opinion on it. But if you guys have maybe you like this, maybe you vibe, maybe you like collage art, if this is a deck that you'd like to get, once again, it's KLD Tarot. But yeah, it's collage art based on dreams and the way that they inferred these things from spirit. And I'm not saying any of these things are wrong. None of these images are incorrect. There is no one true definition of tarot. I'm not the one true source on deck reviews. It's not what I say goes and everything. Everyone has different opinions, and I'm sure that this deck speaks very well to the creator and maybe to other people that they share it with, or maybe people that I'm sure this is someone's go-to tarot deck that they love using, and I think that's wonderful. And I'm really loving the fact that the creator made this deck out of a need for healing and all of that. But as a whole, it's not for me. As a whole, the deck doesn't really speak to me. I do feel as though it is a little self-serving. It does feel a little egotistical. It's hard to get beyond it, with the name of the deck being your name, or the person's name themselves being put on the card. Again, it feels like we're looking through a lot of inside jokes. But I think that the back is beautiful. I love the shine on the cards. I think it's beautifully well packaged. I love the way the information is displayed in this book here. So yeah, let's look at the Fool really quick with that first character. It says, the innocent gypsy soul of the tarot, one marked by the trait of expansive thinking. The rebel with a cause, new adventures, journeys, approaching life with wonderment and anticipation, independence and freedom, etc. They had themselves on the Empress, and I'm curious about that one. The embodiment and personification of the divine feminine, nurturing and healing energy, a mother or expectant mother, flowers in bloom, sensuality and sexuality, the Madonna and the whore, the marked difference between being a girl and becoming a woman, creative passion, abundance and luxury, the ultimate creatrix. She can grow an entire human being in her body, sometimes more than once. Yeah, I understand. I see where we're coming from with a lot of this, but the people on the cards just kind of send it away. It kind of removes my resonance with it because, as I said, it feels very personal. And this is a deck that I would have kept for myself. I would have made this for myself and kept it for me and used it for my own personal readings and not necessarily put it out to publish. But listen, you know, I hope that people buy it. I hope people enjoy it. Those are people that resonate with it. But what do you guys think of this deck? What's your opinion on people that put art of themselves on a deck? I have another deck where the artist or the creator made themselves the magician, and it just kind of gives me the icks. I don't know, maybe I'm being harsh, I'm not sure, but again, this was an honest tarot deck review. Let me know what you guys think of it in the comments, and thank you for tuning into the channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time for my next honest tarot deck review.